Cut to the Chase podcast, guys. This week we have no other than my boy, comedian Randy Valerio from the Ready Set Blow podcast. Guys, you guys already know Randy. If you guys follow me from the other 250 episodes that we did on the Ready Set Blow podcast, we are back at it. This time on my podcast, Cut to the Chase. We get right into it. You guys already know what Randy's about. He's fiery, he's smart, he's electric, and he doesn't hold back. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and share. Enjoy the podcast.
Go ahead. We're rolling.
I know we are.
That's how we do this.
Please leave the coffee on the table.
First of all,
Please. You make me nervous.
He's gonna put it all over your nice fucking rug.
yeah, this is a very.
Actually, it's furniture rug. Or whatever the
Hey man, it's nicer than my rugs. I got none.
I'm glad that we. I'm glad we all good. I'm glad that we all.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we all. We just.
You guys had to listen to fucking 30 minutes of me on a work call. I'm sorry for that.
I added Randy on LinkedIn.
Oh my god. I haven't updated that because I haven't done shit but tell dick jokes between now and my last job.
that whole like whatever the fuck you just did for 30 minutes. I checked my FICO.
I'm a little hard right now. I'll be honest with you.
I checked my bank account. I checked where am I at in my life. I checked that where I should.
I logged into my work email.
Nick was checking his email. You made everyone stop everything that we cared for to care about shit that we don't care for.
Well, for the listeners out there, prior to comedy, I had a real job in a real life, and recently I got back into the real job, and I had some skills before I did comedy.
Yeah,
and I don't think I was that good at it, but that's just 'cause I didn't enjoy it. I think it was work, But people seem to think I'm good at it. They hired me again,
right.
You got to be laser-eyed to be in the world that you were in.
From what I got from that whole just you working and hearing you talk and making those conference calls that you were merging. What I also noticed was that every single and I don't know any of these people, obviously.
Yeah.
But basically, from what I've, they don't fucking want to be there, dude. It sounded like they were miserable, but they just had to do the thing. They're doing the thing that's paying the bills, and it's like, let's just get to.
But isn't that most work? I mean, that's why it's called work, right? That's why you and I want to make comedy our profession because it doesn't feel like work. We've been doing it for free. Or for very little money for so many years,
right.
That to get paid hefty paychecks for it would be a fucking blessing.
That's right.
So it doesn't feel like work. So we're happy to do it for less than
nothing.
Less than nothing. But if you're going to spend 8, 10, 12, 14 hours a day doing something you absolutely hate, then it's work. Then you got to pay me.
Yeah.
No one's ever happy to be a garbage man. They do it because that's how they pay their bills, right?
Fuck, man, dude. You know what I've been doing, dude?
What's that?
I've been doing the opposite. I've been working hard and getting paid shitty. I just recently realized that. I've been doing the opposite because
it's bad news, dude.
Bad. It's oh man,
it's bad news. But I mean, look, fucking the key is I figured this out when I stopped working full time before. I'm back at it, but when I first stopped, I was like, all right, if I have to go back to work, I got to find a job that pays me enough to cover my expenses, but leaves me enough time to do the things that I love. That's the key. Like a lot of people have regular day jobs. You know this, Chase. A regular day job supports, your living expenses, but you can live a happy, fulfilled life if you have enough time to pursue your passion outside of work.
Yeah.
It's very few people that are lucky enough that their passion is their job.
Very few.
I mean,
very few. Yeah.
And that goes across the board. I mean, so I met a lot of guys in my old finance life. Most of them, 90% of them, did it for the money. Right,
for sure.
But there was 10% of them that loved accounting, and it was weird to watch a guy or gal be fucking super into keeping the books, they enjoy the Excel spreadsheets, and I'm like, this is I don't. Do they do that shit in their spare time? I would not be doing Excel spreadsheets in my fucking spare time.
They love it.
Yeah. I think it's more of a testament. I think when I hear stories like that, I think it's more of not so much that they probably like the actual like the numbers of it,
Yeah.
but more of just like maybe the pride and like the job of finishing.
There is that.
the thoroughness of like
Yeah,
the
there
pride
is
of
that.
being thorough and making sure.
I mean, that's what kept me in it for the first 11 years that I was in it for, was just being competitive. Like I didn't want to lose. You know, like I didn't want to, you know, like, oh, my boss is riding my ass and making me work, 100 hours a week. Fuck him. I'm going to work 120. You know, like that kind of, that sort of pride in just being able to beat the next guy. You know, I wanted to stick it to my boss and my employers and whoever was fucking with me at work. Like I wanted to succeed at work, to shove it in their face. Not because I cared about the job or cared about the outcome.
You just didn't want
it was to show them up,
I don't think it's more. I think you're full of shit.
I think there's part of that because I do the same thing where it's like I'm always going to be the first in the office, and it's just the thing of like you're going to see me there and you're going to be like,
it's called being conscientious. That's something you can't train nobody.
I think you did it because you just didn't want motherfuckers just to bother you, fucking, because you're just like, hey, if Randy's getting the job done, don't fucking talk to me.
Yeah, but that's the thing. But that's conscientiousness, right? Like, dude, my very first job, I worked at McDonald's, right? But I was flipping burgers, but I was good at flipping burgers because I didn't want to come off as like a fucking freeloader or a piker or dragging ass. Like I never want to be that guy, in anything I do. So it's like, you can't teach someone to be conscientious. You could teach them skills, right? I could teach you how to do math or, balance a checkbook or fucking, whatever, build an engine if I was a mechanic. But you can't teach someone, hard work, honesty.
I don't agree.
Really?
I don't agree. I have to partially disagree with you, not fully disagree with you.
Hard workers are always going to be hard workers. Like
my dad,
if you work hard
at
a menial job, you'll work hard at a more important job.
How my dad used to say, how you do something is how you do everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess the reason why I disagree would say like I learned those, I guess, tools from my parents. He taught me that.
But that's a value.
It's a value.
There's a difference between a value and a skill, right? A skill is a technical thing you learn how to do.
I see.
Values like hard work, perseverance, respect.
Gotcha.
Those you learn when you're a fucking infant.
Yeah.
You can't all of a sudden teach a 40-year-old how to be a hard worker. Either you are or you aren't. That ship sailed 20 years ago when you were a kid.
Well, some countries. I'm gonna, some kids are working hard.
Yeah, at the end of a gun. Everyone's a hard worker with a loaded gun in their face. I'm sure.
The amount of Teslas in this neighborhood suggests otherwise.
Yeah, everyone's walking around with an iPhone. Meanwhile, there's a bunch of Chinese kids all fucking working in a factory. Yeah.
That's the other thing too. That's a great point you brought up because with everyone talking about like the movement to like electric cars, everything's going like away from fossil fuel, natural energy.
Yeah.
They don't look at it like the one thing I kind of like respect about you is the fact that like you don't take things so like as it is,
like face value.
You face value a lot of situations because there's always going to be like a consequence to like something that's or you kind of have that mindset, and I feel like a lot of people generally kind of more linear in that perspective, and they just want to see like they want to, for whatever reasons, just want to believe like, okay, this is going to fix everything.
Yeah,
and it's like. The intention behind that is great.
They have hope, which I don't have. Which makes me question, wait a minute, are electric cars better than gas-powered cars? Because you make a good point, dude. All the stuff that goes into those batteries are mined by basically functioning slaves in West Africa right now. Yeah. Right? And on top of that...
Shout out home.
And on top of that, where do you think those batteries are going to go? Your iPhone battery only has so many charges. Your Tesla battery has only so many charges. 20 years from now, there's going to be fucking landfills filled with Tesla batteries. So is that better for the environment total? No one's ever looked at that.
Or it's not presented that.
Exactly. It's not presented that way. Yeah. And it's like, we're getting off fossil fuels. Where do people think we get electricity from in this country? 60% of our electricity comes from coal, which is worse than gasoline. Right. In terms of its pollutants. So if you're charging your car with a coal-powered electricity, is it that much better than putting gasoline in the car?
So, Nick, I'm sorry. That was great.
Yeah.
You got to get rid of your Tesla.
Nick.
Yeah. I don't have a Tesla.
The black on black Tesla model you fucking looking at.
I don't have, first of all, it's pearl white.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I got a little Italian in me.
See, exactly. White on white. You have the white interior too.
With the red interior.
Yeah.
Oh, Randy knows about that.
But I'll tell you though, Elon Musk did something smart with Tesla. He didn't sell those cars based on, oh, they're super efficient and they're good for the environment. He said they're just cool ass cars and they go 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds.
He made it into an app.
Yeah, he made it sexy.
He like gamified driving.
Yeah, he made it sexy. He made your car sexy.
Yeah.
Electric car sexy.
Yeah.
So do we just think that the Tesla car is like the iPhone of cars? The
Oh, yeah, it's an
of
iPhone with
cars?
wheels.
Yeah,
for
oh
sure.
yeah.
Like the first iPhone of cars?
Yeah, it's first generation.
From a marketing
Yeah.
perspective.
Yeah.
What they need to do to really make everybody want to drive an electric car is make charging those fucking things up faster and easier. They have the superchargers. It's down to like 15 minutes to get a full charge. Yeah. That's still longer than the 4 minutes 6 to fill a gas tank, but it's still hard to find those things the charging stations everywhere.
Yeah.
So they got to figure that out for everyone to have one. But like I said, I don't think everyone can have a Tesla. If you took all gas powered cars off the market and you could only buy battery powered cars, there is not enough natural resources that go into those batteries, lithium ion, beryllium, like the rare earth minerals that go into those batteries.
What was that?
For everyone to drive? Beryllium.
Sounded like a chick I dated from Danvers.
It does sound like a Portuguese
Sounds like a
girl
stripper's
from
name.
Brandon.
Yeah,
Next on the main stage, beryllium.
Out of Billerica, Massachusetts.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout
She
out,
lives in
shout out to
Danvers.
Lorica.
Shout out to Danvers.
Shout out to Danvers.
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 So true.
I met a nice girl from Danvers actually recently.
I like anything north of Boston.
Oh
Big
yeah.
fan.
I love the white trash chicks in Boston, man. They're fucking old school. They don't make them like that anymore. You know, like a white girl who'll take her earrings off, put Vaseline on her face, and get ready for a fist fight.
She says pussy, but like not in a sexual way, only to demean men.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She'll call you a pussy. Exactly.
I love it too. Yeah, and they fight like racists.
Like they don't say it, but that you could tell it's like on the brim. It's
Yeah.
like just about.
It's not part of like their everyday subject matter.
Yeah.
But like if it goes down, like they just do what's right. Like I like that, they fucking just ready to fuck,
Yeah, ready
like
to-
you never knew, like it's a girl like Martha that smokes parliaments from fucking.
Oh
like,
my god, the P-Funk.
She's like, "Did you say the N-word? You fucking asshole! My daughter's husband's black."
Yeah, and, exactly.
That's the best when they reveal their familial dynamics.
Yeah, I fucked a black guy once. Like, oh, good for you.
Like, oh,
That makes you not racist, huh? Just because you had sex with a black guy one time, you got a free pass. Come on, now, son.
this is a great character, the racist Bostonian.
Yeah,
Even when they're not racist, they're racist.
yeah, just undertones of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but you make a good point.
Well, the beryllium, the thing,
Beryllium?
the beryllium. You're saying so basically you're saying it's like it's
Everyone can't have an electric
You
car.
just can't have it.
There's not enough. There's not enough of those minerals out there right now. At least not right now. And the way they're mining them is completely illegal. It's modern day slavery.
Well, I think which is crazy to me because I'm using a Pierce, the guy Pierce from not Pierce Bronson, the guy who does Pierce Morgan.
Pierce Morgan.
Pierce. Yeah.
Chase will butcher a saying and somebody's name. He's great, son. Every episode, we had like 300 episodes together, and every episode, my favorite was one time he goes, you know what they say, early bird catches the storm. What?
Yeah.
He'll butcher a saying.
It's true. But you could turn any butchered saying into like an old African saying.
Oh yeah.
Where you're like, no, that's right.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess it is.
You know, my grandfather says, all right.
Yeah, it's back in the days. It was like that. Just like, oh, yeah, that's how they were. You're right.
Yeah, man. But I appreciate you saying that though. Like that, I do try to step back and like, look at the bigger picture. Because I'll give you an example of something that happened recently. Because I wanted to talk about this in the podcast. I pre-taped a couple episodes before we did this one, but I'm glad I had you. We're here together to talk about it.
What's up?
I'm sure you've heard about that guy, that homeless guy in New York who was terrorizing people on the train, and the ex-marine guy put him in a chokehold. The guy ended up dying.
Yeah.
So after that, which obviously I don't want anyone to die for no reason, right? It's I'm sorry the guy died, but after that, protesters protested by stopping the subway lines by getting on the tracks in New York.
I see.
So
For what?
So I was like, all right.
Wait. What did they protest for?
They wanted the district attorney to bring murder charges against a guy who choked him out.
Okay.
Which he eventually did, or he or she did. I don't know if the DA in New York is a male or female, but what my problem was, it's like, so wait a minute. The protesters, in protest of this quote unquote vigilante killing, are going to stop regular New Yorkers from going to and from work or going to and from home. It's like, so you're going to make all the citizens of New York pay for what one stranger did on a subway line. I was like, that is the stupidest fucking They should have run those people over with the train, in my opinion.
It's a traumatized veteran. If you've been on the trains in New York and you've seen the way that people act, it's like it takes one skilled but like traumatized war veteran to just snap.
Yeah, but
and that's what happened.
Yeah, and look,
That's how anyone fucking someone messes my coffee up.
Exactly. And to be fair, that the guy who he choked out had the cops called on him 70 times in the last year for terrorizing people on public buses and subways before. Now, what I took from that is, one, the protesters are bad at protesting because they just bothered their fellow citizens when they should have been protesting in front of the DA's office, not in the subway stopping trains. Number two, the fact that guy got the cops called on him 70 times and they didn't shoot him, which is what everyone thinks cops do nowadays, proves that the police aren't all bad, right? Because there was 70 opportunities where they could have shot the guy and they never did, right? And three, the thing that really bugged me is that his family, the homeless guy's family who was terrorizing the subway train, are calling for the DA's head and they're going to sue the city. And I'm like, wait a minute, this homeless man has a family? Where were they to take him in?
Where's the GoFundMe?
Now that he's dead and you see dollar signs, you can sue the city. Now you care about him.
I see.
Where were you when he was living in the fucking subway for the last 3 years? Shame on you. Shame on his family.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And look, I know not all homeless people that have mental problems and maybe didn't want help, but then you don't get to sue anymore. You know, like you don't get to play aggrieved when you didn't help out your own fucking family member. You know?
Right. I'm with you.
Again, when people misplace their anger on somebody else. Like, oh, we're angry that the DA didn't charge this guy. Let's stop all subway lines. Like come on.
Well, there's a
bad protest.
Well, first of all, I believe if you have fucking bad credit, you shouldn't fucking protest.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Niggas who have yo, son, if you got bad credit, son, what the fuck am I following you for?
Yeah.
What's a bad fucking house?
Yeah. Unless you had to take a paid day off to protest, you shouldn't be at the protest. You know, I don't want unemployed people at a protest. Yeah, if you have no right to speak, you don't pay taxes. Shut up.
I want leaders, people who've been through some stuff, people who have like credit, I've seen the.
You should have to show a approved PTO slip to protest.
Exactly.
Yes, and I don't want a pattern of calling in on the third workday.
Yeah. You get one sick day to protest. That's it.
Yeah,
you have sick days, vacation days, and one protest day a year. And use it wisely.
Yeah. And it can't be during Black History Month,
unless you're black. Unless you're black.
Well, unless we got that's diversity and inclusion. People and culture department. That's down second door on the left.
This company, SVP and above, go to the protests. Everyone else,
fuck out of here.
Yeah,
get to your desk.
But yeah, I mean, that particular case, we have to look at it. For me, we have to really look at it from like beginning to end, right?
But that's every case. And every case.
And you have to look at, you got to look at every case like that. Yeah. But yeah, it's just part of like what's going on with this whole, everybody, it's like a certain like deflection of accountability. It's like a great special name, by the way, that Chris Rock had in Netflix, which is selective outrage.
Yeah, it is.
And would you agree?
I would totally agree. Yeah. I feel like a lot of the protesting nowadays, it's not like Martin Luther King when he was doing it. Peaceful protesting, getting hoses and dogs sicked on him, thrown in jail, eventually murdered. Now a lot of the protesters is about, look at me.
For sure.
Something bad happened to someone I don't know. Now I'm going to graft behind that tragedy to get my fucking 30 seconds of fame by protesting. And that irritates me. It's like they don't really care. If you cared about the homeless people, you'd be in a soup kitchen. You wouldn't be protesting this one guy who died.
My thing is,
everyone's like, we should do something about the homeless problem. Well, you have an extra bedroom. Why don't you pick one and put them in that fucking room? And then call me after that.
Yeah. Well, we all can agree, I think, that, and you can, I guess, choose whatever subject it is. Yeah. Like, there's no real conscious effort to assist and help things by people naturally. Yeah. You can talk about it with race. You can talk about it with violence. You can talk about it with
homelessness.
You can whatever category you want to pick your poison.
Yeah.
Right. There's no real conscious effort by any particular groups. I wouldn't say all of them. There are people within certain groups who
are doing the work,
who do the work,
work for a non-for-profit, or who Doctors Without Borders, whatever,
or even people who are not, like, let's say, professional, quote unquote, but you've seen them like they wake up every Saturday morning. They go to the soup kitchen. You know, they make efforts to do that. You know, they don't brag on like social media. They just do it because inherently that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
And whether you do it that way, whether you do it the other way, at least you're making actions to do it, right?
Yeah.
My problem is the people who have opinions about people who don't do it.
Yeah.
That don't do it themselves either.
Yes. Yeah.
And there's a lot of those. Sorry, comedians. We're one of them. But like,
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's our job.
That's
yeah.
our job.
Talk
But
shit, not do anything about it.
Yeah, but that's our job. But like, we make fun of
Complaining publicly is what I do.
But you know, there's people that, you know, I'm just like, dude, like you don't do it either. All right. So you shitting about these other people doesn't help either. No one wants to kind of just be like, all right, I haven't done it. Do I want to do it? Do I want to do it?
Yeah.
Just don't feed into the
And then there's the other part too, Chase, where
You know what I mean?
by not taking a position,
All right.
people are saying now, oh, silence is violence. Violence is violence. Silence is not violence. Silence is I don't know. The problem today is too, you can't not have an opinion. Like now it's like, where do you come down on trans people? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't thought about it. That's not good enough nowadays.
It's a complex issue.
I know,
don't
but
have
it's
I don't have a set opinion on.
It's not in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Why are you asking me? You know, like if you want to talk about dick jokes and drinking at a bar, that's my wheelhouse. You know, like
You know what I think they should do, guys? I think they should go back. People who don't have like education on certain areas, or if someone like probed the question to you, hey, what do you think about this group or this thing? And if you don't know, I think we're gonna go back to old sports dudes that didn't talk about shit. You know what the word
hope.
was?
Oh.
We just go like this, no comment.
yeah.
When it used to be those days
Brilliant.
where no comment was like, okay, there's
Yeah,
no comment.
I have no comment on this. I don't know.
It doesn't mean it was either one way or the other, or now it's like if you say no comment, they're like, well, what's he
Oh
saying?
yeah, no comment makes you a racist. I'm like, well, no, I just have no comment. Like,
Mine would be I'm only here so I don't get fined.
oh yeah, like fucking
I'm only here so I don't
Like,
get fined.
Marshall Lynch.
Marshall
you know,
Lynch, yeah,
Yeah.
beast mode.
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. Like now, everyone's like required to have a position on things that they don't even know about. It's like you're gonna like, what do you think about U.S.-China relations? I don't fucking know. Like you're gonna ask me, like,
I do say this though. I will say this though. If you don't know, and you can either be one of two people. You can be one of those people that will continue not to know because you don't want to be
Yeah.
informed, right?
Yeah.
And there's definitely a lot of people like that.
Yeah, willful
And-
ignorance.
Willful ignorance, right? And that bleeds into many different spectrums of like life. Or you could be the person that's like that had been challenged by someone that's like, oh, I don't really know. Maybe I should know.
yeah,
Maybe I'll start reading more. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll start like getting into it. You know?
and that's what I'm most worried about with I think this whole woke thing is kind of it reached its peak and we're kind of on the back end of it where we're like, all right, let's get back to normal here. But
Sure.
what worries me about that movement is really their lack of acceptance of the question. So it's like oh, if you don't pick a position and you just want to learn and you ask questions, they're like, oh, those are leading questions. You're a bigot. It's like, no, please inform me so I know what both sides of the issue are and I can come to some sort of consensus in my own mind.
Yeah.
Just asking the questions now is a problem. Like you can't even ask, what is a woman or what is a man, because that might seem transphobic. I
can tell
and
you.
I'm like, I can tell you. No, but I'm saying, but asking that question is not in itself bigoted. People might have an honest question like, hey, what do you think a woman is? Explain to me what a woman is nowadays, right?
I had someone tell me the other day, what's between like a nigga and a white nigga? I had to.
What's the difference? Shoes? What's the difference?
Well, it sparked dialogue and we got into it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's to prove your point.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you just gotta be like, like a white nigga is like a nigga like
Chris Mullen?
no, like
You ever hear him talk?
great person. Like, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's- yeah.
Chris Mullen.
Yeah. 'Cause he played at St. John's.
Yeah.
He's from Queens, son.
Yeah.
Come
He
on,
sounds
son.
like a black guy when he
Yeah.
talks.
Queens
Wait a
get the
minute.
money, son. Dollar bill.
Even though
y'all.
he had the head of a state trooper, but the mouth of a black guy. It was
He
really
did.
strange.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like,
it was
crazy.
wild.
Yo, Queens get the money, son.
Yeah, exactly.
It's from Queens, son.
I know. It's big time.
No, but I've during these whole even when we were doing our podcast, back in 2017 was the first episode, I
Yeah.
believe.
January 1st, 2017.
January 1st, yeah. And I think that was like kind of like it was starting like you
That
said.
was the beginning of it.
Yeah, and
Right
then-
after Trump got elected, people went wild.
Yeah, because we can go back on like older episodes and we were just like there was a journal of that happening, right? And then But I felt like I always was that type of person where I was like stayed away from it for many different reasons. I can't hold too much things I can't control.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm like one of these dudes. Like, dude, if I'm not like, I just can't think about things that.
Well, you have more pressing things to worry about.
More pressing things to worry about. Yeah.
And I didn't want to get into it because that's why I never talk about the kind of stuff on stage. It's not funny to me.
It's not. Right.
What I find funny is like interpersonal relationships, how you are with your family and things that we all have in common.
I don't want to talk
about what's exactly. I don't want to talk about what's uncommon to us. I want to talk about what's common to us.
Plus you have more knowledge base on that.
Yeah.
When you have more knowledge base and context, you can actually have a conversation versus the virtue signaling on.
Yeah, I was very conscious of that, Nick. I didn't want to come off like, I fucking know it all when I didn't know shit about the topic.
It's like people that discuss, like, for example, socialism.
Yeah.
Conceptually, you could probably talk about it, but you don't know the deep workings and implement, like, how you execute that and like how that affects it.
But
there's no.
But that's the other thing too that's going on. There's loaded terms now, right? Like woke used to mean one thing when black folks started saying it, pre 2016. And now it's all that Fox News talks about, so they completely bastardized the term, right?
Yeah.
Socialism, right? That's a loaded term, but we have a lot of socialist institutions in the United States. Social Security, Medicare, like all these things are socialist in nature. So the word is loaded, and it means more and different things than it means now than it used to mean. I mean, we talked about it with my grandmother, with Cookie, right? Now it's people of color. And it used to be colored people.
Great name.
But it's just a turn of phrase. Going back to the term homeless.
Oh, by the way, I'm sorry not to cut you off. Yeah. Nick, Cookie is his grandmother, not Cookie from Tyrese's film.
Yeah.
Yeah, not Cookie from Gold Club. Yeah. That's a whole different Cookie.
Okay. Yeah.
Not Cookie from Best in Show.
Yeah, not Cookie from Centerfolds. That's a different Cookie.
Gotcha.
No, but like the term homeless, right? The term homeless came about in like the mid to late 80s because before that, they were called bums. They just call them a bum, right? Now, and that term homeless came from the liberal community, because they thought bum was too offensive. Now, the preferred term is people experiencing homelessness, which is just semantics. But
what?
The liberals made the word homeless, and now the word homeless isn't liberal enough for the liberals. It's like
it was unhoused, and
words
then
have meaning that you give them. It's not. No word in and of itself is offensive. It's how you use the word that makes it offensive.
Wait. Can I? Okay.
Yeah.
The word is they said,
people experiencing homelessness.
I've been homeless.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
it wasn't an experience.
No, you weren't. No, you were not. You were a person experiencing homelessness.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
But even when I was homeless, my fucking place was dope, son.
You decorated
Please
your car
don't talk
really
about
nicely.
the storage
I decorated
facility.
the car and the storage facility that I lived in.
I remember the storage facility.
He told me the storage facility. I couldn't believe. I mean,
I was going through some old clips, and to this day, bro, did you know he painted the inside of the fucking of a storage container? He put down rugs.
I thought he made that up.
No. He didn't. He stole furniture from other storage facilities other units in the same facility and put it in his. But my favorite part is this, dude. He got an air mattress. I'm like, why didn't you just get a mattress from one of the other things? He's like, nah, man, that's dirty. You're living in a storage shelter. Take the mattress. Don't get an air mattress.
So good. I respect that. You still got principles.
I got principles, and I got needs.
Yeah. You ever try to fuck a girl on an air mattress?
Yeah.
It's like trying to fuck on a seesaw, man. Because like you push down and the other side goes up. It doesn't really.
It's like the new form. It's like the white trash form of Pilates.
You gotta balance it out. Yeah. White trash Pilates.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean,
doing fucking special yoga on an air mattress.
You don't need that much space. You don't need that much space to get things done.
To get things in there.
Yeah. you really don't. I was just because you just really don't.
Yeah,
I don't know, Mom. Yeah, it's kind of gonna. Me and Nick talk about it a lot. Where I think part of it too is just where people, we talked about it too before many times. Where I don't know, it seems like people are just not like they're in their own matrix, man.
That's part of the problem. Everyone's in their own little bubble now.
Everyone's in their own little individual thing, and.
That's why
I went to go get some coffee at a coffee shop, and the girl that was behind the counter, I don't know how old she was. She probably was like, I don't know, 17 something.
She just looked at me, dude. Like, didn't even acknowledge me. She's just like looking at me, staring at me. You know, I was just like, "Are you gonna mention?
Take my order?
Are you gonna take my order? Are you gonna say hi? You know, are you gonna breathe? Are you gonna
blink? Let me know you're alive.
do I need to, like, you know?" And she's looking at me like, "What do you want?" I was like, "What do you want? Do you want my
coffee? What the fuck do you think I'm doing here, son?
You think I woke up? Oh,
I didn't come here for proctology, Sam.
On your shirt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you know the banner outside says coffee. That
I want that. Yeah." She's like, "Oh, you know," it's just, it's like I have to
pull it out of them.
Oh, it's so much energy.
That's the thing. Everyone's in a little silo now with social media. Like your information space is completely controlled by you vis-a-vis your use of social media. So what you look at is what they kick back to you. So just by using it, you've basically encircled yourself in a weird little bubble, and it's almost impossible to get out of it.
Which I kind of
the algorithms feed you more of the same shit.
Yeah. I can see why they do that, though, because I thought about this, which is crazy because I don't really think a lot.
It was a big day for him.
Yeah, it was a big, huge day.
He needed a nap after that. Yeah, exactly. He thought for a few minutes, and he hibernated like a bear for a week afterward.
Yeah, man. That's what happens when you think.
That's how he lost all that weight. He was thinking.
I'd be thinking.
It's the look after you say something like that. Like that was the gem.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
A lot to think.
You gotta take time to think.
So what were you thinking?
So what I was thinking was this. I was like, I can understand why people do that. You know, what you just said about the whole social media thing, is that it also not only they take in so much, you know, from like whatever. It also, they can create exactly what they can put out, which serves as like more or less kind of like a defense mechanism to not let people really know who you are.
Of course.
I'm going to create another avatar of myself.
Yes,
and
that's exactly what it is.
And then now you have like a streamline of
this is who I want to be to the rest of the world. It's not who you really are. This is who I'm presenting to the world. You know what they call it? It's curating your profile, which I know that is lying. You know, like
curating your life.
Yes, you only show the best parts of your life, and you don't show the other parts. So the whole world thinks everyone's doing better than they actually are, because all you see is their Instagram profile. Right. You know, you don't see me fucking fucking missing the Boston Comedy Festival cut. Why would I put that? You only put your wins on there. You don't put your losses. You know, you don't see me fucking struggling to make ends meet. You know, you just see me doing comedy. You don't see you don't see women what they really look like out of the shower. You see them all made up. There's a lot of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that, and it's also part of it too. Is like, I can see why they do it too. Is because generally people, because they're very
we're social animals.
Well, it's like, but we're more like, people generally are more insular than they actually think to appear. They don't really know they're more insular than they are.
Well, you don't want to let your guard down, your mask down, you know?
So people only generally kind of give you props when you're winning.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right? They always come at you. All your friends now come like you're winning now. They come out of woodwork.
Are they really your friends, right? That's
another.
The people come out of the woodwork. I don't know if they call them friends.
Yeah.
You got a lot of friends when things go good for you. When life's going bad for you, you find out who your real friends are, who sticks around. That's the real friend.
Have you since you started like comedy now, like been doing it for a while now, have you seen that personally for themselves? Have you experienced that with like?
Oh yeah.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, and you see that a lot in LA too, because there's like a lot of comics that are climbers. I'll call them. Right.
Yeah.
So if you're doing stuff, like, hey, when you bump into them at the club, hey, what's going on, man? You know. And if you got no heat, they're like, who the fuck is that guy? You know, they kind of forget who you are.
Comedy's really evident.
There's a lot of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
A lot of that. Less so here in Boston, but much more so in LA.
We were talking about a comic yesterday. I won't mention his name though.
Yeah.
We were talking about a comic
Great
yesterday. Great guy. That kind of bleeds into like, that, right? Yeah. And before, when you started comedy, you were mentioning like, he never really like said anything. He was kind of like more.
Yeah, he was always polite to me, but he was never friendly towards me.
And then,
but I came back and I had some more heat because I spent some time in LA. I'd been more on the road and whatnot. And I was like, hey man, let's grab a beer. It's like, fucking, I could have grabbed a beer with you 3 years ago before I left. You know, I was happy to grab the beer with him now, but I wasn't on his radar until now. You know, and look, I get that to a certain degree. Yeah. And to his credit, he was never rude to me. But there are those other comics, who fucking wouldn't give you the time of day, and now they're all of a sudden super friendly. I'm like, man, get the fuck out. I hold them to that.
I feel bad because some people like that comic that you were just mentioning might just operate on the thing of like, if you're not in my vicinity, if you're not in front of me on my phone, I truly have no fucking idea who you are.
I don't think he did it maliciously, but there are comics out there that do it maliciously, for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
They don't fuck with you unless you got something to offer them.
Yeah,
it's like dating a gold digger. Same thing. People, there are like, you know, platonic gold diggers in the world. You know, that's full of them. You know, you know, they won't be friends with you unless you got something to offer.
way. LA's weird. The situations that people are in and the dynamics that they're in, like, you know, like the husband and wife couple who's like, we're just going to make all this money together, but we're going to fuck other people.
Oh, there's a lot of that shit.
You know,
there,
like that, just stuff like that. Yeah.
Really?
And there's, and there's a whole like,
LA's got a lot of weird stuff over there, right? Like a lot of like
I mean, look,
underground, secretive.
Yeah, but
just,
I mean,
careful, right?
think about it, dude. Think about it. Like, that's where everyone's told, like, oh, you know, where you go to make your fucking, you know, showbiz dream come true. First of all, dreams go to die in Los Angeles and Hollywood, folks. Let me tell you right now, if you got a dream, stay the fuck home with it. Don't go out there. That town will fuck you up.
Well,
you know?
not only that, because like most of the people who live in LA, who are not from there originally.
Yeah, that's it draws in all the
draws
crazies from
all
everybody
the
else.
people who have these dreams and like aspirations, which is great.
Yeah. But you got to be careful the people you surround yourself with out there. You know, because you can surround yourself with some real fucking venomous people.
100%. And that's why when I first moved to LA, dude, every time, because I lived right around the corner from a Scientology building, son.
Oh my God. They'll rope you in quick.
I walked across the street on purpose every day for a year. just in case, like, to avoid them motherfuckers, like, might get me, son.
Yeah, man. I mean,
yeah.
Dude, you know,
I don't know. I was like,
dude,
I just
you know, they like run like free acting and improv classes through there. So like people are like, oh, I want to take an improv class. Oh, this one's free. Just to fucking rope your ass in, to get the e-meter in your hands and start, you know, clearing your brain, whatever the fuck they call it. Like,
I know a clown from LA.
Like an actual clown?
An actual clown. Like, he goes to parties and like fucking dresses up like fucking like Roseanne Barr. It's fucking.
I've had some bad jobs, but I don't know how to put face paint on for my job, son. That's fucking wild.
He's a clown. You know, that's a dude that's dedicated.
Yeah.
That's a dude that his values were, you know,
he
learned about hard work.
Yeah.
So he goes around, like, makes good money. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like he gets booked, you know? Like, you'd be like kids parties, right? You would think every weekend there's a kid has a party.
Yeah.
He's booked. He's getting, you know, a couple grand a fucking.
What kind of kid wants a clown at their party? Like, how fucking weird
A
is that?
deeply disturbed one. Like a classically trained clown.
At this point,
The only clown that I would want to come to my birthday party, even now as a grown man, it'd be Homie the Clown. So.
Oh, that would be fucking sick, dude. Homie the Clown would be rad at a Christmas party.
I would hit up
I've met Damon
Wayans.
I've met Damon Wayans. Guys, it's fucking, that's crazy.
I would pay him whatever amount of money for
I
him
know.
to dress up at. He'd probably be like, nigga, get the fuck out of my face. And I would take it respectively, right? But like, I'd be like, he's the only clown in my mind.
Yeah, that's worth entertaining. But dude, they like if I feel like after the movie It came out and made clowns creepy, kids shouldn't like clowns anymore. It's, you know, like once like 1988 passed, clowns were out. You know, like that's what I feel like.
They haven't been popular in a long time.
Yeah, get someone who makes balloon animals or someone who dresses up like Sonic the Hedgehog. Fuck the clown. You know,
I don't deal with like that, especially like the scary clown thing.
they're all scary at this point.
Yeah,
even the ones that try not to be with the laugh.
Yeah.
They do like a weird fucking laugh. Ugh.
You know, I mean, once John Wayne Gacy performed as a clown, they should have wrapped it
Done.
up. You know what I'm saying?
See ya.
Because he killed like half the fucking like 15 boys that he met at clown parties and shit. Like,
Clowns and mimes.
mime's weird. Mime's like a French thing. I haven't seen a mime in a while. Where are the mimes? That one died. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I think the mimes
dead.
knew. They were like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. Let's go back to where we,
Nobody likes
know,
us. Yeah,
and clowns just stayed at the party.
Yeah, we're out on this one.
Yeah, quite literally.
It might be with Ted Danson.
He went blackface. Remember that?
Reverse mime.
That's
he
right.
went-
Reverse mime. Negative, a mime and negative.
Artificial miming.
Yeah. Well, they're the woke group of the mimes. Yeah. They like to do reverse.
See, that's interesting too. Who they decide to cancel and not cancel. Like, because Ted Danson did go in blackface, but he was like dating Whoopi Goldberg at the time, and they just let him slide on that. You know, Justin Bieber. You put him on YouTube right now. He says the N-word a dozen times as a 14-year-old kid. Yeah. But people love Bieber, so they let him slide. I asked this to a podcast guest. I'm going to ask you, Chase, a couple weeks ago. Do you think
8 inches?
That's not what I'm asking. But thank you for letting the listeners know.
And boy, are my arms tired.
And I can tell you right now, it's definitely not 8 inches. You could go. You guys. I'll let you guys think either way.
Yeah, exactly.
No comment.
Do you think? Because Taylor Swift is so beloved, do you think she's beloved enough that if she dropped the N-bomb, she could survive?
Yes. Because she
Anything that the people that run this country, mostly billionaire white men, anything that they want to fuck is good.
You think so?
I do. I think it's that. It's a weird thing when you look at the people that have like escaped the fire,
Yeah.
escaped getting canceled. They're oddly like tied into these people, and it's like a weird circle that they roll in.
Yeah, I guess they like kind of run the media organization. Like if you're friends with Rupert Murdoch, you can make it out. But I mean, but look at like.
Well, well, to answer your question, I think she would.
Yeah.
Not because she's Taylor Swift. I'm just going based on.
She's a beautiful white woman.
She's beautiful. Yeah, she's beautiful. I mean, not anything that has to do with her talent. I'm saying there's been people before her that said it and be like,
Yeah,
have done well.
but I mean, look at it. They can't. They're trying to cancel J.K. Rowling, who wrote the Harry Potter series, because she is like they call her a TERF, but what she really is, she's just questioning whether or not
a TERF.
TERF means it's like it's a trans something radical feminist. I forget what it's called.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought that was.
But they're saying she's anti-trans because she's pro-feminist. She wants women to have safe spaces just for women.
Yeah.
But they're trying to cancel her, and she's J.K. Rowling. She makes even more money than than Taylor Swift. And she has a big fan base. But Taylor Swift's fan base are so rabid. I've said it before. Taylor Swift's fans are like Donald Trump supporters. It does not matter. She could step on a baby's head live on stage, and they'd scream cheers for her. So I wonder if she has a strong enough fan base to make it through if she dropped a hard N-bomb in the middle of a performance.
Oh, she does.
It would be a learning experience.
Oh yeah, that's what she'd say. Yeah, I've learned from this. She'd go on Oprah because that's how you get out of trouble in this country. You have to sit with Oprah. Oprah absolves you of all your sins.
She gives you the sign of the cross, and you're
if
good.
you sit down with Oprah for an hour on her show, you can get through anything.
I could tell you one. I could, in fairness to that question, I'll give you one. I'll give you one example where she could have used it.
Where's that?
When Kanye went on stage, son.
Wow, that would have been great.
Wow.
He could have been like. She could have been like.
Get off the stage, you N-bomb.
No,
Could you
not-
imagine if
well,
she threw it at him like that?
Well, not that. Not that.
Not that hard?
Not that hard. Because just to let you know,
Everyone's like, "What the fuck, Kanye?" And then Taylor comes in. It's like, "What is happening?"
No, but he was like, my nigga.
Oh, if she said it like that,
Like,
yeah.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like
not a hard R. Yeah, you can't go hard R.
No, you can't
But if
never
she
go-
went hard R, I think she might be able to survive.
Yeah.
That's
I've grown. I've learned.
yeah.
I made a mistake. She
Listen,
falls on her sword.
I don't know. I mean, Paula Deen didn't come back and she was making chicken, son.
I know, and she made good chicken.
So we didn't accept her even after making good chickens.
Crazy. It's wild. Dude, I mean, and look, and they also they effectively
Great
canceled
point.
Kanye's ass after his whole anti-Semitic rant. I mean, like
You can't cancel a billionaire.
Yeah, none of these people really got
they
canceled.
torp his Adidas contract. I mean, look, he's still rich.
He'll make another one.
He's
At the better
he's
example,
still rich, and he's still fine. But no one's fucking with him now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see any collaboration with Kanye coming up anytime soon.
it's coming. It's coming.
You think it's just time? Time.
Do you think You think that society has always been this crazy, or do you think it's just social media that's now showing us this?
I think the potential's always been there. Social media made it possible, right? Because now everyone has a voice and an opinion. My tweet looks the same as your tweet, looks the same as Elon Musk's tweet, looks the same as Joe Biden's tweet.
That's why strip
You know what I'm
clubs-
saying? Like, it kind of levels that playing field. Like your opinion can float out there, and people can take it or leave it. So it kind of embraces that.
Just like strip clubs.
Yeah.
That's right. Because that's exactly.
I'll tell you where racism doesn't exist at the strip joint.
Yeah.
You go to a strip joint and be like,
Facts.
I want an Asian girl. They will bring an Asian girl. They won't ask you, hey, isn't that a little, get an Asian girl. Like they don't give a
Strip
fuck.
clubs brings everyone together. It's like
Yeah,
United
yeah.
Nations.
That's the American dream, son.
Yes, it is.
That's the true. Like you're bringing everyone from all walks of life. You don't know who's walking through that door. You got all types of women from all
dude.
backgrounds.
Yeah,
dude.
they got a fat girl. They might have an amputee for a guy who's into that. They have anything you want, son.
No, you know what? Fucking the color that only really matters, green, son.
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
That's why I used to go all the time. You know that, son. They made me believe whoever the fuck they made me thought I was the man, son. Like
Well, that's their job.
Yeah.
To lie to you. You know.
Oh yeah, I thought I was like, it's like they made me feel like, hey, Daddy.
Old big pimpin' Chase over here.
Yeah, like they didn't. They do the thing where it's like they put the hand on your knee, but it's like very subtle, but it's very like.
I mean, they're naked therapists, dude. You know, that's why I came up with the idea a few months back.
you think
I was
I'm
like, there should be hot chick therapy, where it's like Hooters combined with therapy. You know, like
bro,
just hot girls.
With
I'm already
AI,
listening
that's
to
going
my
to be
problems,
possible.
right?
I'm
So
already.
they just type it in.
Yeah, they just type it in. They just type it in, right?
AI is going to make that dream a reality.
Do you know how?
Because just think about some hot chick sitting there. Maybe she has a degree, maybe she doesn't. She types it into ChatGPT. There's the answer. She's
Oh,
just
yeah,
delivering the
whatever, yeah.
message.
What's your
She's
problem?
the vessel.
All right. Just respond. Do you think AI is ever going to get good enough to Do what we do, be a comedian?
I have a better question. Do you think it's weird that I have a health savings account for my strip club expenditures?
You have a 529
That's
plan that
one
you
of
spend
the
on
fucking
strippers?
funniest things I've ever heard.
Like
He's got a health savings plan and a 529 plan that he spends on strippers. Not for his kids. It's for the strippers.
I did that like a couple weeks ago.
It's smart.
I started putting like money away.
Pre-tax money, dude. You're saving fucking 30% off the top.
Yeah, they don't
genius.
Yeah,
It's genius.
and I go to the strip club and I take money out of it.
It's
and
genius.
then I write it.
Yeah,
off.
that's pre-tax dollars, son. That's smart.
HSA, baby.
Yeah, man. I said you're getting 30% off your lappers, basically. That's a good deal.
Thank you.
I'd take that.
All right. I just
And
wanted.
you can show them the card
That's yeah.
when you go.
Little
Your
health
Blue
plan.
Cross Blue Shield card at the strip club.
Yeah, you're swiping their butt cheeks.
No, it's great because actually I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save like I'm gonna have it accumulate.
He pays his copay at the front instead of like the door fee.
Oh yeah, yeah,
I know it's 35. I know.
yeah. No, it's 10 for members. I trust me. I looked into it, bro. It's 10 for
$10
members.
for members.
Yeah, but you have to show up at the holiday party once a year.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still on the newsletters.
Some newsletters. It's not a
I
newsletter.
could see you wearing healthcare merch at the strip club though, like a Blue Cross Blue Shield hat. Or,
I got a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I still got a Cadillac Lounge.
I could see you rocking that.
Oh, the Cadillac Lounge, dude. I used to go there in college.
Yeah.
I was down in Providence. That's a glorious, glorious place.
Speaking of
Dude, that place was so dope. That's when they caught Mo Vaughn. Remember he like disappeared from the Mets for a
Yep.
week? And they fucking found him at the Cadillac Lounge?
Oh yeah.
First of all, I don't think they caught him. I just think they just knew where to go.
Oh, yeah. He's not at home. Oh, he must be at the Caddy Lounge.
Yeah, that's different.
If he's not at the facility and he's not at his house, he's got to be at the Caddy Lounge. Where else? Where else would he be?
They didn't catch him. They just
Yeah, they were looking for him. They
were
drove
looking
up.
for him.
Yeah, they drove up. They made the 2.5-hour ride to the Caddy Lounge from New York.
And then he hit the expressway to get to the Foxy Lady and
the
strip
Foxy.
club.
Dude,
The
they used to make us go there because I was in a fraternity in college. They would make us go there for legs and eggs in the morning. There's nothing more grotesque than eating eggs and watching girls strip at 7 a.m.
Jesus.
I mean, you feel really bad about yourself doing that, something
dark.
like that. You get out of bed to go to the strip club. It's fucking weird. I mean, most guys will stay there from the night before and they just start serving eggs. But the fraternity, like, hey guys, get up. They wake us up. Get dressed. Why? All right, just get dressed, and they drop us off there. Come back in 4 hours. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm eating eggs and cold bacon with some girls fucking minges hanging over me. It's gross. Gross.
I think I'd have to partially disagree with you. I think it's
Well, I don't like catering tray eggs. I've never been a fan of catering tray eggs. Not the girls that were the problem. It was the eggs that were the problem.
the eggs. Actually, some of the best food.
I don't want to eat when I'm looking at naked chicks. There's nothing sexy about eating and looking at naked chicks at the same time.
Really, you really can't do that.
I mean, I could do anything. I prefer not to. You know what I'm saying? I could survive it. I don't want to do it. You know?
Right,
it's like eating outside. I don't like to eat outside.
Really?
I don't like to be around, especially in New York.
Oh no, yeah.
Because you're competing for what's on your
I've gone
plate.
like camping and you eat like that, but I've seen people like eating Chinese food on the subway. I'm like, bro,
No.
I'd rather eat in the fucking public toilet than on the subway.
Right.
You know, it's fucking filthy down there.
How was the damn food? Well, you live in a city where it's like you could probably eat out all the time because there's so much great food in LA, right?
Yeah,
Mexican food,
expensive as shit.
expensive. Yeah. So do you like LA?
I do. What I tell people is, my brother asked me.
I haven't talked to you in like a long time.
Yeah, I know. But people ask me, I was like, LA is like physically it's gorgeous, right? Because I like the outdoors. There's mountains and the beach, and within 3 hours I can get to some of the biggest mountains on the West Coast.
Right.
LA would be perfect if I could move everyone from New York to LA and everyone from LA into the fucking ocean. Because the people are the problem. Because we were talking earlier, it brings in the crazies from everywhere else in the country and around the world. And I don't know how Southern California has this fucking rep as being laid back and chill. They're the most uptight motherfuckers I've ever met in my life. They're so up their own ass. It's incredible. You know?
I don't know how you can be laid back when you have the worst traffic in the country, the worst homelessness problem in the country. Everybody there is paying the highest taxes.
It's their insecurities. It's the person inside. Think about it. These are people who want to be in show business. So look at me, because my value is you looking at me. So of course they're insecure people, but they project that on everybody else. So everyone's trying to move up this fucking fake totem pole that they invented in their head.
Right.
And they're so self-conscious that they can't take a joke. They're so every joke is a personal affront to them. Like, oh, they're clutching their pearls. Like, calm down. Breaking your
it's
balls.
rough.
You can't break balls out there. Doesn't exist. Breaking balls is insulting somebody. We're out here, the closer you are to somebody, the harder you can go at them and break their balls.
Yeah.
You know, that's how you show love is by busting chops. Like, can't do it out there. Can't do it.
So is it more of just kind of like, yeah, you just have to adapt, huh? You just have to adapt.
The key is finding a group of people, like-minded people that you can exist in that way. That's the thing. I mean, like, there's plenty of people who are up their own ass in LA, but there's plenty of regular people too. You have to find the regular people though. Whereas here, back east, everyone's regular. You know, out there, you got to find the regular folks.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of weird because like we don't generally like to. Well, you're forced to kind of group think.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like,
unfortunately,
right? Yeah. So it's like if you don't buy into that, right? You kind of forced into.
Well, that was, I mean, you know, and our buddy Jeff warned me about that. I said, look, man, you're going to rub people the wrong way the first 3-6 months you're out here. I'm like, what do you mean? So just the tone of your voice sounds like, give me your fucking purse. You know, like,
yeah.
He's like, but don't change that. That makes you different. That's when you stand out here. Let them get used to you. You know? So there are people I've met in LA that I've become friendly with after they got a better sense of who I was.
Yeah.
But, you know, like out there, you know this, I feel like everyone's looking for something from somebody. You know, like everyone has an ulterior motive when you meet them.
Yeah.
Whereas in Boston, no one has any fucking motive other than what they tell you what they want. You know, I want a coffee. You know, I want to date you. I want to whatever. Like,
I think everything
much
here
more
is
forward.
tethered in
reality,
intellectualism, not in a pretentious way. I say intellect in the sense of like, I know this to be true.
Yeah.
Let's have a conversation about it.
Yeah, make it make sense is what I'm trying to say. Out in LA, nothing makes sense. Here, everything makes sense. People are angry for a known reason. You know, people are grumpy in the winter because it's cold and there's snow.
Right.
You know, like, you know, you go to a store, you want a coffee, you ask for coffee, you get a coffee, you walk out. There's none of this fucking bullshit surrounding it. Yeah. You know, there's no like fake pleasantries or any of that kind of stuff. You kind of cut through all that, you know, which I miss. But, you know, thankfully, you know, we have some friends out there and they introduced me to some other friends and, you know, I have a tight little crew around me. But yeah, man, if I was just out there living with other actors and shit, I'd be like, fuck this.
Well, that was one of the things that, like, for me, when you made the decision to go there, kind of made me a little bit like, it threw me a little off because I was like thinking like
it would have been New York more likely.
It was it threw me off because I was like LA because I knew who you were and I knew the type of comedy that that you were doing.
Yeah. They hated my shit out
and there. So I was like, why is he going? That doesn't make no sense to me. And then I was like, but then also I was like, well, he lived in the East Coast all his life. You know, wanted to probably see something new, experience.
And that's really what it boiled down
you know,
to.
Yeah. In addition to obviously people helping you, but there was like things outside of comedy.
Yeah, for me, the two biggest things were the outdoors. Right, I you know how much I love going outdoors and stuff.
Hiker,
like
big hiker,
hiking, camping, all that stuff.
Yeah,
you know the West Coast, mushrooms. Yeah, the West Coast is much better for that. And then two was what you said initially is, you know, I've been on the East Coast my whole life, you know, and Jeff was like, give it 2 years, 3 years. If you don't like it, you go back to New York.
Could always.
I'm like, all right, you know, we can put it that way. It's not a lifetime choice, you know. I don't think I'm gonna live there forever. Right. But you know, I've been there for almost 4 years. 2 of them were the pandemic. I'll give it another year, and if I don't like it, then I'll fucking move. You know, like I'm saying, like he reiterated, it's not permanent. And my therapist at the time, my Boston therapist, was like, yeah, if you don't like it, you can always come back. I'm like, yeah, I always think every decision is so absolute, you know. And he convinced me. My therapist is like, as long as you don't kill anybody or get a girl pregnant who doesn't want to get an abortion, everything's reversible. I'm like, all right, fair point. You know, like, it's like, so if you don't like it out there, come right the fuck back. You know, like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's right. He's right. I think, yeah, the whole thing where it's like being in one city and making sure that's the city. You have LA, New York, those days are kind of almost over.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the key. I want to make it so I can live wherever I want, you know, to live in Denver or Nashville or, you know, Phoenix. Like, you know, a lot of comics do that who've made it. You know, Theo Vaughn and Nate Bargatze moved out to Nashville. Yeah. A ton of comics moved to Austin. Like, the key is to make it so I don't have to be in LA or New York. I can go live in the fucking country and the offers come to me, you know?
Sure.
You know, that's the dream.
This guy, you know, my producer Nick, the only place that he wants to live is New York City, and you want to get the fuck out of New York City.
Are you from New York? No, from up here.
No. All my friends and family. I have friends and family that are there, and I visit a lot. I'm down there a lot, so
it costs a lot of money, brother. You think fucking Boston's expensive? Forget about it.
It's the same. It's the same at this point. It's almost as bad. I have my best friend come up. He's like, dude, Boston has changed because we met in went to school here, and he's like, dude, it's fucking expensive. Ubers are everything's
What I
just so
paid
much
for a
more
hotel room
expensive.
the last 2 days is grotesque.
Yeah.
What, dude? It used
Yeah.
to be fucking $150 a night. Now
Then you had the
twice
food.
that.
It's getting bad with between the bike lanes, the food.
I noticed the bike
all that
lanes.
shit. Yeah,
And I used to ride my bike around. I didn't have a car in Boston when I was living here. I rode a bicycle around. Fucking great. And you didn't need a bike lane. I had to fucking ride a bike next to
Right.
it. You know, like,
You guys actually, without you guys even knowing, you guys are actually kind of similar people. Both you guys are.
did we meet in a truck stop? Did I blow you through a glory hole?
Dude, I watched you do stand up. I watched you do stand up at like 2015 at the Beacon Street pub.
Beacon Street Locale.
Yeah.
Wow.
You
You
were
remember
doing
that? The
some
upstairs
bit.
room?
You were doing some bit on like
blocks down
Volvos
there.
in Sweden or some shit. I forget
Oh,
what it was.
Iceland.
Iceland.
I
Yeah.
just got back from Iceland. Wow,
Yeah.
you got a good memory.
Yeah.
Holy shit. dude.
Yeah.
Be sharp. Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
shit, dude.
Yeah.
And
That
then I
upstairs
saw,
room was a fucking dungeon. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that place.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of you guys are like both of you guys are similar in that sense of like, both of you are biracial. You're half Irish, half Dominican, and he's half Italian, half Lebanese.
Okay. I've been to Lebanon, bro. I went to Beirut.
Oh,
Beautiful.
man. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Paris of the Middle East.
Sick. So sick. It's fucking sad that fertilizer plant blew up and crushed the city.
Yeah,
Wild.
I mean, he's like Lebanese, like more like Watertown.
Not Lebanon.
Yeah, he's not like Beirut Lebanese.
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like
All right. Lebanese light.
Yeah. Yeah, kind of like a low ABV volume for
yeah.
Lebanon. Yeah. But it's funny, every time I get an Uber driver who's Lebanese, he'll look up in his mirror. It's something about like, and you probably recognize this too, it's just the
Brow.
the brow, the nose, the eyes, and then like they're not super dark over there.
No. Are
They're
you
kind of
Christian
fair
Lebanese or
skin.
Are you Muslim?
Christian, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dude, they put that on your license over there. You know that?
Yeah.
oh really?
They have like a caste system in Lebanon. So they put like your class level, which is fucking bananas. Think about that. Could you imagine that in the United States? Like, Chase Abel. Poor. Yeah, like what the fuck?
At least I mean they don't need a card for that.
One look at you.
They don't need a card for that. Like, it's they don't need a card for that. Trust me, I'm one of these type of dudes, man. It's like there's some things that are very transparent. You don't need to ask questions. It's right in front of you.
You would crush it in Lebanon. I think you would do well.
Oh yeah. Alhamdulillah.
Did you even say that right?
Of course. Of course.
Who the fuck do you think you are?
Well versed in So Randy.
Yeah, so anyway, back to LA.
So you were done. So basically, you're here for the Boston Comedy Festival.
Yep.
You came to Boston, right? So doing comedy, podcasting. I did a podcast, the Ready Set Blow podcast in LA.
Yep.
That was cool.
A couple months back.
And so with that, I know you've been traveling with Jeff.
Yep.
Jeff Dye. How's that been going? And how's that just experiencing being on the road quite frequently? How's that helped you?
I mean,
Yeah, because I see you. I mean, I see you. You're doing your thing.
my performance levels, I'm much more comfortable performing. When I first started, I was like fucking erratic on stage, and I didn't know what to do with my hands and all that shit. So I'm much more comfortable doing that. I love doing the road because the audiences are just better, and it's also you get like a new audience every week, every night in a different city. So I'm able to play a broader set of people. So my jokes work at a broader set of people. Like I was doing like a lot of Dominican shit about my father when I started here, and that works as Dominican people in Boston. That shit doesn't fly everywhere else in the country, right? Yeah. So you gotta broaden the stuff you talk about. But me, I love traveling. I love being on the road. Even without comedy, I love bouncing around, seeing different places, doing different things. Yeah. So it kind of works well for me, and that's why any day job I take on now, I make sure I can still go out on the road. Because I feel like that's what makes you a better comic. Like I can play to. There are comics that crush in LA that would be fucking embarrassed to play Toledo, Ohio. Because they might crush in the cute little room in Silver Lake, in front of a bunch of purple haired wokesters. That shit's not going to fly in every other city in the country. So you get kind of boxed into a certain audience. That happened to me leaving here. Like I had broad mind, but in LA it's very acute. Like this, they'll be like the open mic warrior. Like so they crush at the open mic. Oh yeah. But that shit's not going to play in a real room. Yeah. Because they're playing to the back of the room, not the paying audience.
I think I mentioned that. I think when we first started, we talked about that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I was like Randy, yeah, be careful of
don't get too good at the open mic.
Don't get too good.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't get too good of being part of like being popular.
The scene, yeah. Don't be popular in the scene. Be good on stage.
Be good on stage,
Yeah.
and then, as you know, over time you get to see how it plays out.
Yeah,
You have your hometown heroes for sure.
yeah,
Your hometown people just like just based on whatever.
yeah.
But can they do that in Hartford, Connecticut?
Well, yeah.
Can they do that in Toledo, Ohio?
Yeah, can they do that in Miami?
Can you do that in Miami?
In any city you roll into. That is a thing.
Yeah.
And like I said, I just love that part. It's still a thrill to be on stage and make people laugh, man. You know, like I've said it 1,000 times, 1,000 people off the podcast. You know, I've had many relationships with many beautiful women. I've tried a lot of things in life. That's
a pause. I felt like you want to say that all podcasts, dude. The way you did that was awesome.
Oh, we're cutting that?
No.
Okay.
No,
it's okay.
We're absolutely adding that.
Yeah, no, but
no,
like,
that was I didn't. That came out left field. I didn't know you were gonna say that.
No, yeah, I'm saying, but like, I've had a lot of good experience in life and a lot of bad, but nothing beats having a good set on stage, man. The crowd's laughing at you, and I'm laughing at them, laughing at me. I was like, oh shit, it's working. I still smile when I'm on stage every time because I can't believe it's working. I can't believe, you know, Jeff and I joke on Sundays when we fly back from a road gig. He's like, I pulled a fast one on him again. We got him again. They paid us money to do this. How fucking stupid are they? Like we pay them to do this. If we could, we got over on them again. We tricked them. You know, like
Oh yeah, for sure. Jeff is like one of those guys I always will love because and I've seen his kind of
his act evolved a lot.
I would say changed for sure.
Yeah.
You know, so it's evolved, right? And then but he's always been one of the very few comics I've always like. He's just like. He will make fun of my apartment, you know, like he's like I don't know, like he's like Chase. I don't understand. Like this kid is like, he just makes you feel comfortable. He makes you he doesn't make.
Well, he's like one of the few comics that's actually happy. Most comics are miserable pricks, you know, like, and he's not.
Yeah,
you know. So, but that's also a nice part of being on the road. I'm a much more pessimistic guy, and he's not.
Yeah.
So it kind of helps me take the edge off of,
that's good.
my negativity.
Yeah.
But also I help him keep it real because sometimes he thinks the world's fucking all rosy. I'm like, nah, son, that's not how the world works. You know, like, like people are out for you sometimes. Sometimes people don't have your best interest at heart.
Yeah.
You have to remind people that sometimes.
Oh, well, I know. We saw you just do your, right before you got on the podcast. It cut deals, this fucking guy,
Yeah.
He's just like, it's crazy. Hopefully that is short term so you can keep.
I mean, it's. Look, I can
because I know how you are. Because what happens,
nothing's permanent. I convinced myself.
Don't let them suck you in, brother.
If I'm really unhappy, I don't have to stay there.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like you told me, quitting on your head isn't quitting. You know, if I'm unhappy doing something, I can always just stop doing it. I don't have to continue through with something just to prove a point to someone I don't care about. You know, like
you said that to me too when when I first met you on stage, you said something like that. It's crazy how long we've known each other.
Dude, it's fucking almost 10 years.
Nick, would you have any questions for Randy?
No. This is a great episode. I mean the
Well, we talked a lot.
We've
done this a few times, about 300.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good. So you said you're in town for Boston
Comedy Festival. Yep. I'll be in Florida all through June. I got 3 weekends in Florida in June. The next for plug-in stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'll be in Austin, Texas, the 31st. I'm doing a one-nighter with Jeff at Cap City Comedy Club.
June?
May 31st.
Oh, May 31st.
May 31st. And then June, I got 3 weekends in Florida, Boca, Naples, and Sarasota, I believe. As I always say on my podcast, go to jeffdye.com if you want to see all my dates. But
one day it will be Randy.com.
No, look, now that I got some bread coming in because I got work.
Yeah.
I had somebody a fan of our podcast who lived in LA. He's a graphic designer. She redid the logos for me and stuff for YouTube formatted. But I said, now that I got some bread, I can pay you. You can do my website. So hopefully in the next 2 months, I'll have a website up.
That's cool. Yeah. Shout out to whoever that is.
Amy. Thank you, Amy.
Yeah. Shout out to Amy for doing that. Yeah. You guys can always go to me. I always post my dates on my website, Instagram. I'm always there. We definitely are always going to do part 3, 4, 5, 2900. As long as it takes,
Exactly. We'll keep doing this shit.
Yeah, I had some questions that people sent me about the podcast.
Oh, what do you got? We'll do one or two of those real quick.
Okay, we'll do one.
We'll do a quick one.
We'll do
because we didn't do the news, so we'll answer a question.
There was one because I sent it out on Instagram.
Yeah. Oh, nice. Yeah.
Like Randy's coming
Ask
on
us
the
anything.
podcast,
Hell yeah.
And then one of the questions was Let's see here. Nick, do like milk music or something.
Milk music.
He needs some milk.
Oh, you can put in a little. That's fucking fancy, son. I don't got any of this shit, son. I got to step my fucking production level up. I got a giant LED.
A great studio, yeah. I saw that. I was like, of course, I'm like, how do we get that? How do we get the lights?
Cost them like 30 grand. Don't even fucking play with it, son.
Yeah, dude, that was a serious setup.
They opened up a second location. Shout out Third Wheel Podcast Studio.
This is interesting. We'll do this question. The question is to Randy. Do you miss Chase?
Of course.
And would you ever do the podcast again?
Of course. Yeah. I mean, fuck, if you wouldn't have stopped if I fucking lived in the same city. You know what I'm saying? Just like once the pandemic ended, it was like, everyone's done doing the Zoom shit.
Yeah.
We had done 5 years straight, hadn't missed a week in 5 years, which is the biggest commitment I've ever stuck to in my life.
We did do that. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was time for you to have your own shit. You got Nick, your own producer. But every time he's out in LA, he does the show, and every time I come here, I'm going to do the show. It's fucking
Always.
Of course. Yeah.
Always. Yeah. I've seen I think for me, it was like, comedy, just like with life too, you have to evolve.
Shit just moves.
You just move.
Things happen.
Things happen, and you got to focus on yourself. You do the things, and
there's no bad blood between us. We got fucking high last night. We're fine.
Yeah,
we're bullshitting back at Capos with the crew. And fucking,
I'm just. There's always people that have their own
they're worried like, oh, is there something we don't know about? Nothing happened. No. Fucking, he just wanted his own podcast, and it didn't make sense to keep doing it over Zoom because, frankly, what happened is that social media evolved. Like now you have to have like clips a certain way and all this other bullshit to stay competing. You see it now. Like
we were doing
every
Gorilla.
comic's taking videos of himself doing fucking crowd work and have to put the big text when they're talking in front of it. Like there's like a standard now you have to go with. Which is annoying, but that's such is life.
Which I know we're still like learning this stuff.
Oh my God. I spend more time editing the podcast than I do on the podcast. For 1 hour of podcasting, it probably takes me like 3 hours to post it all, and then another 5 hours cutting clips. So it's 1 hour takes 8 hours for me on the back end.
Yeah. So basically, ladies and gentlemen, it takes work.
Yes, a lot of work.
And Randy doesn't work.
And I'm not a fucking editor. So if anyone wants to give me free editing, please. Hit me up at Randy Valerio on Instagram.
Yes. Randy will pay anything to make things go away.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like problems. I like to pay away problems.
So as of right now, we're going to be getting out of here. I'm Chase Abel. You guys have been great. This is my boy, Randy Valerio. Appreciate you coming on,
Thanks
brother.
for having me, brother.
Yep.
Ready, Set, Blow Podcast, Swapcast. I'm going to
out,
put this
guys.
on my page, too.
Yes. Guys, follow me. Peace.